Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode. My name is Osman Abdulrasheed, and today we're going to be talking about something that is very, very interesting. We've talked about different things about business, how to start a business, ideation, all those things. But I think that today what we're going to talk about is something that will really, really help every single business. You see, one of the biggest skills that every business owner must have is how to deploy strategy. Now, we hear strategy, and honestly, I know a lot of people. I've been talking to business owners, and I know one of the biggest issues that business owners face is what is strategy? How do I deploy strategy? What can I do? So, I'll give you two definitions of strategy. The first one is strategy is simply competitive advantage. How can you, as a company or as an organization, gain competitive advantage against your competitor? Not that because you're fighting them or you're talking bad about them. No, it's just that you've created your product and designed it in a way that customers will prefer to come to you than to go with them. I'll tell you an interesting story that I read in a book, and the name of the book is Strategic Management Courses and Cases or something like that. And it was trying to define this competitive advantage definition of strategy. And he said that there were two CEOs. They were trying to do a merger, and they were walking, they decided to take a walk. As they were taking the walk, they came across a lion, right? It's a fictional story. So they came across a lion, and the first CEO removed his bag, and he had running shoes in his bag. He had like canvas in his bag. So he removed the canvas and wore. The first CEO was not like, okay, why are you trying to wear canvas? It's not like we can run faster than the lion. He said, yes, we might not be able to run faster than the lion, but me, I should be able to run faster than you. And that's all he needs, right? If the lion starts chasing them, if he runs faster than this one, the lion will catch him, and then this one will run, and he'll be free. And that's what competitive advantage is. You don't have to fight against everybody. All you have to do is to make sure that your product and service is better than your competition's own, and then eventually the lion. And the lion in this case, as Nigerian business owners, can be anything. It can be inflation, it can be taxes, it can be lack of light, it can be lack of fuel, it can be anything. As long as a business, you can outrun your competition in the long term, and the lion catches your competition, you are scot-free, right? The second definition of strategy is that strategy is simply how organizations create and capture value, right? And sustain that value. What does that mean? Three things: create, capture, and sustain. How do you create value? Remember, we talked about it in the previous episode where we said, the definition of business is that a business is a repeatable process that creates and delivers something of value. So you must always be creating all the time. Every single time as a business owner, you must spend your time trying to create something of value, trying to fine-tune the things that you're selling, right? And then how do you capture value? Capturing value is simply collecting payment for the value delivery. Because what is a sale, right? A sale is simply an exchange of value. I will give you something that you give me money in exchange. Before money was formed, people were still selling. They were doing trade by barter. So a sale happens when there's a commensurate exchange of value. But let me tell you, one of the biggest issues that I've seen business owners have is that they create something of value, they deliver it, but they don't always capture the value. What does that mean? This is when they sell something on credit. And at the end of the day, because they didn't collect the money, sometimes that business fails. Most of the businesses that have failed is as a result of that thing. Where you sell a product, you're not able to collect the money, or you're not able to collect the right amount of money, and then eventually you've chopped inside your working capital and your business will eventually die. And we don't want that to happen to you, right? So you must always think about how you are always consistently capturing value. And capturing value is collecting payment, the most amount of payment that you can collect for a particular goods or service that you provide. And then you sustain it. How do you sustain that value? Sustainability is just simply meaning that you are doing it without burning out. It doesn't make sense for you as a business owner to always be running your business 24/7, running helter-skelter, seeing how you can survive and all that. And at the end of the day, you fall ill and you're not even able to enjoy the money that you made. So sustainability is how do you build and grow your business in a way that does not negatively impact your well-being. Most business owners you see probably they struggle from high blood pressure, and it's because maybe they are thinking too much, they don't have proper eating habits, they don't have proper sleeping habits and all that. So you must think about strategies that you can use to create something of value, capture that value, and sustain the value in the long term. Simply put, business, right, must think of three things. And I've said this before, but I'll reiterate it again. We must think about how we can increase revenue, right? We must think about how we can reduce cost, and we must think about how we can improve quality, because those three things are the major things that will help you to grow your business and to stay sustainable. So we've defined strategy. Now, how do we implement strategy? Strategy implementation is simple. First and foremost, for you to be able to deploy strategy, you must know where you are as a business owner. Where do you stand? And I'll share with you one tool that you can use to know where you are. The next thing is you need to know where you want to go to, right? And as a business owner, you must have your goals and objectives that you have set to be able to see where are you going to, what are you trying to achieve as a business owner, right? And then the third thing is, what path do you want to take? Strategy is simply like, imagine if you're going somewhere and you're using Google Maps. For Google Maps to work, it has to know where you are, right? Where you want to go, and then it will show you a path that you can use. So one of the things that, like I said, how do you determine where you are? And that's what we'll talk about today. How you determine where you are, there's a tool that you can use. Most businesses and most big businesses use this tool, and it's the SWOT analysis. What does SWOT analysis mean? And I'm sure you've heard about it before. SWOT analysis is simply strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. That's just what it means. SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. So let me explain to you how you can use that and how that affects you as a business owner. Your strength, what are the things that you are good at as a business? Or most of you are probably one-man businesses or one-woman businesses. So what are the things that you are good at as a person? This can also help you when you're thinking about starting a business and trying to come up with ideas. Think about it and say, what am I good at? What do I have? What resources do I have at my disposal? And let me tell you, one of the biggest resources that you can have as a business owner is goodwill. And what is goodwill? Goodwill is simply the value that people will provide for you because of your status or because of your connection with them. So sometimes somebody can decide to give you free accounting services. Why? Maybe because it's your cousin or it's your brother or it's your sibling or it's someone close to you. Someone can decide to give you a reduced rent for your shop. Why? Maybe because you're family friends. So you must leverage on all the connections that you have around you to be able to see, look at it and see it as a strength and say, okay, how can I use this to my business advantage? Now, another thing that we need to understand is that the strength and the weakness is internal to you as a business owner. The opportunities and the threats is external. Most times you don't have any control over it. However, you can mitigate its effect. But the strength and weakness is something that you have direct control over, and you can actually, either, strengthen your strength, sharpen your strength, and also block your weaknesses. So your strengths are, what are the things that you're very good at? The things that you're very good at is what you should be doing. Guess what? Have you ever seen anybody teaching a fish how to swim? You can't teach a fish how to swim. You don't teach a bird how to fly, because that's what they do naturally. So you must think about the things. What are the things that you do naturally? I remember that before I went into consulting, one of the things I did was I did an analysis, and I looked at it. I was like, what is my strength? Interestingly, one of the strengths I had was I could talk. I can talk very well. In fact, at that time, growing up, it wasn't a strength. Growing up, people were always saying, I talk too much, I talk too much, I talk too much. So what did I do? I looked at it, I said, okay, this is a strength, but maybe I hadn't refined it then. So what did I do? I started taking classes to learn captivating public speaking, to learn about strategy, to learn about a lot of things, so that I can now come and eventually teach it. That's a strength. There are certain topics that if you wake me up from sleep, I don't even need to do anything. I can teach them because I have strengthened and I have, sharpened that strength of mine. So what I want you to think about is, what is the strength that you have? Some of you are very good in analytics. Some of you are very good in thinking. Some of you are very good in writing. Think about those strengths and how you can use that in your business. Weakness. Your weakness is the thing that you're not very good at. The thing that you hate doing. The thing that you don't like doing. Most times I advise people, hire out your weakness. There's no point trying to get better at something that you don't like doing. Hire it out. I'll give you an example. For me in my business, one of my weaknesses as a person is I'm not very detail oriented and I'm not very, nitty gritty about arranging things, right? And so things that I have to do with like looking at the nitty gritty, they tire me. So that's why I can't even do accounting, right? So what did I do? I have an assistant that does all those kind of things for me. All the nitty gritty things, all the small follow-ups, the documentation, and he loves those kind of things. And so I will do the front end work, meeting customers, talking to them, getting them in, but he does the back end work of documenting them, helping them through the process and all that. So you see, I've been able to hire it out. And interestingly, even on the family front as well, I'm very outgoing and outdoor. My wife is very calm and indoor. And so we're able to manage that because if my children want to go out and they want to explore, I take them. And then if they come home, she's the one that will teach them the homely things and all that. If you're able to share those things, you see that, it becomes easier for you because if you tell me to sit down at home and teach them, between us and them, we'll just scatter the whole house, right? So you have to be able to know what your strength is and what your weakness is, which is internal to you. Now, the next two things that you want to do as a business owner is to look at what are your opportunities. What are the opportunities that are out there? See, as a business owner, your eye must be very good at identifying opportunities. Because once you identify an opportunity, you can create an idea that you can use to leverage on that opportunity. And opportunities are everywhere. I'll give you a personal example. I remember sometime, I think 2 years ago, Twitter, the social media app, was banned in Nigeria because of one issue that they had, I think, with the government. And as soon as they banned it, I had an idea. One of the things that I always talk about when I'm talking to business owners is I tell them, do not build your business on a platform that you don't own. Why? Because if you build your business on that platform, one day the platform can shut down. If the platform shut down, what do you do? So I'm always talking about it. I'm always telling people, look, yes, you can post on Instagram, Twitter, and all those things, but always find a way that you generate leads so that you can collect people's number, collect people's email addresses, so that even if you lose that platform, you have something that you can use to communicate with your clients. As soon as Twitter was banned, I saw it as an opportunity because a lot of people lost their business. And then I told them, I put out a course, right? I called the course the Business Accelerator Challenge. And I was going to teach business owners how to not build their business on a platform that they don't own, how to create a marketing system that helps them to attract clients and save their contact details. And I did that, and it was a huge success, alhamdulillah. And the only reason why I was able to do that was because I saw the opportunity and I quickly leveraged on it. So think about it. What are the opportunities out there? What is something that you think is coming in the nearest future and you can capitalize on it? Your strength is also an opportunity for you. What are the things that you're good at? And look at it. What is something that people are looking for? I'll give you another example, another personal example. I remember when I finished university, the first master's I did, because I've always been in oil and gas, the first master's I did was in oil and gas law. And at the time I did it, it didn't really make sense. People were like, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? I was like, I don't know. It seemed like a nice course, and I decided to do it. Fast forward almost 15 years later, the PIA Act was passed in Nigeria, and there was a lot of requirement for trainers that were good in the legal ramifications of the oil and gas sector. And because I studied oil and gas law, I quickly brushed up on the PIA Act. And I mean, last year, I did a ton of trainings on PIA because it was a strength that I had, and I linked it with an opportunity that I saw. So what are the strengths that you have? What are the things that you know? There's certain knowledge that you know that might be an opportunity for you in the future. The last one is threats. What are the threats that might affect your business? Look, one of the biggest threats that affect business owners, and I know that a lot of us don't like talking about it, is taxes. Whether you like it or not, as a business owner, you must pay taxes, right? But most people don't do that. And when they don't do that, what tends to happen is that they start running helter-skelter, and then when the tax authorities come and grab them, they tend to lose everything because the fines they slam on you is huge. So from now, as a business owner, you must regularize your financing. You must take proper records of all your documents. You must submit all the things you need to submit. You must pay all the dues that you need to pay at every point in time, because that's a threat that is coming. Another threat that we don't even know that is really coming is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence right now is taking over the entire internet space. There are certain things that people needed other people to do, but now AI will do it for you. Even people that do video editing and all that, there are AI tools that can edit for you in few seconds, right? And so now more and more people are, it seems like people are losing, they're going to lose their business, they're going to lose their jobs. But you shouldn't despair. Why? Because when you've identified that there's a threat coming, you can now strategize your business to see how you can mitigate and overcome that threat. So for example, this threat of AI, for example, what if you learn how to use AI and then use it to speed up your business, which now forms a strength for you? So that's it, right? So you need to know your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats. Once you do that, that helps you to know where you are as a business owner. And then you think about where you want to go, set your goals, and you can now start to see, okay, what direction am I going to take? Because depending on your strength and your weakness, you know certain directions that you take. Depending on your strength and weakness, you know which direction you don't want to take. And depending on your opportunities and threats, you know what you can quickly capitalize on immediately without stressing yourself. I hope that this strategy implementation class that I just talked about will really help you to see how you can add more value to your business. I look forward to hearing the amazing report that you bring from the field on deploying this strategy as well. Once again, I'm Osman Abdulrasheed. Thank you for joining, and thank you for being consistent. We've been seeing all the messages that you have been sending. We're really, really glad, and we're glad that you're following up and you're also sharing it with people as well. Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum.
Ramadan Mubarak.